This is the regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the town of Willington, July 15th, 2025, 7:30. Commissioners present are Bob Shabbat, Doug Roberts, Rebecca Tsinovsky, Bill Brunel, and I'm going to seat Michael Johansson for Walter Purcell. Applications for receipt, there are none. Public hearing is extended from our last meeting, the first public hearing for PZ 25-6. Commission initiated text amendment on section 4.02, minimum floor area requirements, and 4.21 driveway standards. Again, continued from July 1st, 2025.
So you've got the language in the packet, which is the same language that we had talked about last meeting. You also have, as a separate piece, or I can pass out the language that we had discussed, which had come as a suggestion from the town engineer for consideration.
Some private bridges and stuff.
Yes, so that's not in the regulations now, so that would be something that the commission could consider adding to the driveway standards. It would be a new number 14 at the end. I think I actually have it in there twice. I don't believe, check my notes, I don't believe there were any other amendments that we talked about that we ended up that you decided you wanted to sort of include.
Just to clarify, we can add that one without having to go back through this whole process, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not restricting more than, it's just like.
We're not expanding the scope of the amendment. It's just, we're sort of further delineating requirements. We did hear back from CROG. They have no concerns.
Walter, have anything to say? I'm just curious if you have anything about these two.
We want to talk about adding the new 4.21D private bridges. Where the proposed driveway crosses a water course or other features such that a bridge is required. Such plans shall be prepared and sealed by a licensed professional engineer registered in the state of Connecticut. Such plans shall be accompanied by a written statement from the engineer certifying that the bridge has been designed to withstand AASHTO HS20 live loads. Upon completion of construction of a private bridge, the licensed professional engineer shall be required to certify that the bridge has been constructed in substantial conformance with the design drawings and specifications.
I think it's good. I mean, the limited number that are gonna get put in.
A limited number, but I think it's a good thing to have in there considering some of the lots that are being sold right now are 20+ acres or such. And there can always be a drainage that pops up once property is developed. So.
And it's, like you said, it has to go through inlands, wetlands too, like not just up,
Right.
Potentially, it's not just.
I can't think of a situation where you would have a bridge unless you had some weird topography, but you're likely to have a water course or wetland underneath it. So that activity would require an wetland approval first.
Bill, any comments? You're muted.
I think it sounds good so far.
Okay. Do we need a motion to add this?
So you could, if you're ready to close the public hearing, you can continue to deliberate, I mean, under new business, it would just be, if there's any other questions or things you wanted to discuss. When you get to the new business section, you could make the motion and the motion could include incorporation of this language.
All right,
That's easy enough to do.
Yes.
so with the public hearing, any comments from, anyone online? As far as the PZ 25-6? If not,
I move we close PZ 25-26 public hearing.
Well, second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. So under new business, PZ 25-6, commission initiated text amendment to section 4.02, minimum floor area requirements and 4.21 driveway standards. Discussion possible but not required, request by design professionals.
That's the second one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. All ran together.
Okay. So insofar as PZ 25-6, I'd like to move that we include the private bridges, 4.21B, to the text amendment.
I second that.
Discussion?
Only thing we have to add is if you're voting, or are you voting on just including this or the whole kit and
Oh,
caboodle?
I think right now we're just moved to include the private bridges.
When you discuss the whole amendment, when in the motion, we have to establish an effective date.
okay.
Okay. So for the private bridges, we ready to vote on that?
A second.
All in favor of adding the private bridges, 4.21D to the proposed text amendment for PZ 25-6, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So it's passed.
So then we should discuss the whole thing and
Right. So for the commission initiated text amendment for section 4.02, minimum floor space and driveway standards, 4.21. We're setting effective date on that. Do you have any suggestions, Mike?
Um,
that's the quickest it could be, like,
I would say, August 1st is fine, because that's a little over 2 weeks and there's a 2-week appeal period, so I think August 1st makes sense.
Right.
do we need a motion?
Yeah,
Okay, I move that we adopt PZ 25-6, the commission's initiated text amendment to section 4.02 minimum floor area requirements and 4-21 driveway standards to be with an effective date of August 1st, 2025.
A second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We're good. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you. Keep going.
Unfinished business,
Well, you can go back to number 2 now.
oh, that's, okay, oh, that's right, new business, request by professional, design professionals, Inc. for determination per section 5.04D a truck wash use in DC zone, 10 Polster Road.
So you have, in front of you, the request that was submitted following the last meeting, and just to recap, and I can go over it for Bill who's online. So the last meeting, the commission had an informal discussion with Design Professionals, who's an engineering firm representing the property owner of 10 Polster Road. They presented an informal conceptual plan for a truck wash facility on the property. They were seeking feedback from the commission and guidance on the recommended, use that term lightly, sort of recommended or most prudent path forward. The reason for that is sort of twofold. The regulations, which I also just handed out, I just gave you a copy in case you want to have for reference, that we're talking about would be the DC zone. So all the other parcels in that area are DC zone. That parcel is currently RA zone. So their intention would be to seek a zone change to put the DC zone on that property. So then looking at the permitted uses and looking at the zoning regulations altogether, anytime we reference the term wash, we include it as essentially an accessory use to a motor vehicle service and repair. We don't talk about it specifically, and we don't really get into anything related to truck wash. So the regulations that you have in front of you is 5.04, which is the section pertaining to DC zone, and then I also included 11.08 and 09, which is where some of these, the phrase washes are mentioned. So motor vehicle car washes shall be permitted as an accessory use, and then there's some standards, which is how both motor vehicle limited and general repair and gasoline service stations are how they are regulated. So they explained that the truck wash, it's approximately 14,000 square foot building, and I'm paraphrasing from this letter, which is in your packet. 95% of the water will be recycled, with 5% wastewater that will ultimately be removed by a licensed waste transportation company. So there will be no discharge of the water coming off the trucks. This will be sort of an automated facility that will, so truckers will not get out of the car. And I think they said there would be 2 or 3 bays. The site in total is 12.3 acres. And they presented in their conceptual plan sort of the overall layout, and they have had the property delineated for wetlands. There's a substantial portion of the property that's encumbered by wetlands and essentially not overly developable, or certainly not raw and ready to go. So there's 2 options for the approach, and they were looking for guidance from the commission. And I think the takeaway that they had from the last meeting was the commission wanted some time to think about it, but also have new additional members participate. So option 1 would be setting aside the zone change, because they need a zone change no matter what, would be that they submit a text amendment to formalize the truck wash term in the DC zone. Option 2 would be, if you look at the DC zone, which is at the bottom of the page under D for special permits, it says uses and use categories permitted subject to the issuance of a special permit by the Planning and Zoning Commission in accordance with Article 13 for any use or use type which is not defined within 5.04, which is the permitted uses, as being allowable or prohibited. The commission may issue a special permit in accordance with Article 13 if such use is found to be in harmony with the purpose of the DC zone and POCD. So essentially, the request would be, or the alternative would be, that the commission find that it's largely an activity that would be allowable in the DC zone based on the list of uses. And rather than seeking a text amendment to add truck wash, when we allow motor vehicle sales, service, repair, and car washes accessory to those uses, that we then acknowledge that it's similar to the permitted uses, and we recommend that they go forward with the special permit without first adding that use to the use table. So what I asked them to do and the commission asked them to do was put that request in writing, which they did. And I think we wanted to have the commission, or what I wanted is for the commission to have the opportunity to consider it without them standing in the room saying, can I please have your feedback right now? So that is the request that's before the commission, to sort of give them that official determination on your most endorsed path, which is not a tacit approval. We're not saying by going forward with a special permit, you know, there's no rubber stamping here. We haven't even looked at anything related to the zoning regs for them to imply or infer that in any way. So that is the request for you.
So correct me with this, Mike, if you need to. So that if we go with just a special permit, that shortens the cycle for them to get started. It doesn't, we don't give up any of our rights insofar as things that they have to accomplish.
Correct.
Before they can start building.
Right.
So I think it's probably a more friendly business way to move forward, considering what's been accomplished in the adjoining properties.
Well, and just looking at this 315-11.09, under the motor washes, they want it to be a wash water recycling, like one of the things, and they're already doing it, like they're already kind of got everything that kind of fits in that.
Right.
I think it.
So, Mike, I'd like to have you comment on this, considering the size of the property, and in Willington, looking for opportunities for small businesses. I wonder if we might be able to ask them and their engineer to see if it's possible to accommodate another pad site on that acreage.
Yeah, so I can relay that as something that would be useful to explore. I've talked to them about it. The first step for them would be zone change, then wetlands approval, and then the special permit. And in thinking about this, I think the two things to consider, one, as I mentioned, you don't give anything up. Perhaps the only thing that you give up is you don't have the ability to deny the special permit application based on a finding that the use is not permitted in the zone. You give that ability up because you're finding it to be consistent with the uses that are allowed. You still have the ability to go through the review process as you would any other special permit.
To find that clarification, that
Right.
kind of.
My thinking was that we don't necessarily, I don't think the project is made better. I don't think the public process is more, what's the word? I don't think the public will digest the process more easily, nor do I think the regs are made any better by adding this use to the DC zone. I don't think we necessarily need to encourage multiple truck washes everywhere, and so by having it as a permitted use, certainly it could be other places, but also a lot of the times the frustration from members of the public who want to participate is they show up thinking there's a talk about a project and it's the talk about a text amendment. And we say, this is all project specific, you can't talk about it, and that can be very frustrating. So I think making the process concise doesn't change our ability to have oversight over the design and all those critical elements, just like we did for Loves. But I think it makes it a little bit easier to follow, and we don't add language to the regulation that'll likely never be used again. So I think that it certainly makes sense, and that's why we amended this language in early COVID for the DC zone. And it was largely because the market and the world is changing for the uses that we see, and we can't always update the regs every time a new use so we put this in here so the commission could consider these things under the special permit process. That's why it's there. So I think it.
So comments from the
I agree. I think it's the easiest, most straightforward, and they're already trying to do things that are already in the motor vehicle wash. It's just, it's a bigger motor vehicle than you would think. I don't know that that site, based on what I saw on the plan, could add another pad. You want those trucks in and out, and they're doing limited septic, you'd have to do more septic, I would think that might be more with a $400,000 unit going in for each bay.
Yeah,
And we're not gonna see a million of them. I think they said the next closest one was in Meriden, if I remember right.
Yeah,
So
Meriden.
Milford.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're popping up on every mile marker.
my thought process of asking for another possible pad site
Yeah,
is to have something like, be able to put up a small Butler building or
Sure.
something on there with an office and one or two bays.
It's already DC'd, and if there's
Right,
something that another
so,
little business could come
Be
in,
able, right,
why not?
Oh, like selling,
well,
Car
selling or, you know,
cleaning supplies or
Mike's,
stuff.
Mike's starting with his construction
Yeah.
business. If that was something that would, even a small woodworking shop would be able to use a
Just attracts
facility
them.
like that or
Somebody who
attract
needs it.
them.
Yeah.
It's a place to land
Mhm.
another business.
It's just what we did with the solar, right? They designed a very small pad site there. It's only a couple thousand square feet, but it is ready to go. With a, 12.5 acre piece of property. It's not, you're not gonna be able to do anything in the back or anything, sort of like that area right up by the road is really the only opportunity. I certainly think it's worth exploring.
Souvenir shop, Willington souvenirs.
It could be something completely unrelated, it could be a similar use, it could be a contractor. I mean, the DC zone allows for many uses, business services, et cetera, it doesn't have to be anything public facing that requires parking, but. I certainly think it's worth exploring and having them at least show, there's some other things that we'll have to get into, but we're, a ways down, they would still have to, again, get the zone
This
changed.
is just the front end of this whole process.
Yep, yeah,
They shouldn't feel it's a requirement. I mean, the solar.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
The solar charging thing, I don't know if that is ever gonna be developed. I mean, it doesn't look like it is.
He's had some bites, they've just not been able to get anybody across the finish line, I think the market's just been a little bit all over the place, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
with this, with the size of the lot, even though with the adjacent wetlands. I just think it might be an opportunity for something small and local to be able to set up shop there. And with EDC, looking at expanding, our marketability in town, I think it's certainly worth, a conversation. Bill? Comments?
I like that because it really reduces some of the costs that go into, trying to develop something from the ground up. Makes it more affordable for small, limited, limited volume businesses. Oh. Am I muted again?
No, we can hear you just fine.
Okay, did you hear what I said before?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my thought. I thought I had my mic off again.
And any comment about moving with the special permit?
No.
Okay. Anybody here in the room?
I think it makes sense, and I think for everybody, getting it off the ground now is a little bit easier than what did it take for a text amendment, 3 months? Almost.
Yeah, by the time we got around to adding and subtracting,
It took 10 years for Love's to finish.
So, well, yeah,
this is a little simpler. So do you need anything else from us right now, Mike?
I think, I'm trying to think of the proper,
do we need a motion, is that what you're saying?
yeah, I think just so that something is reflected in the minutes, I think it'd be useful to have, I guess it's a motion, but you're not issuing a decision. So I guess it would be a motion to recommend that the applicant proceed with
There you go, Doug.
the special permit in lieu of the text amendment.
You wanna try that on for size, Dave?
Sure. So I'll make a motion to the request by Design Professionals Incorporated for the determination for section 5.04D of the truck wash use in DC zone at 10 Bolster Road to use a special permit in lieu of a text change to our current regulations. We agree that a truck wash is close enough as designated in our current regs.
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, Yeah.
Sounds good.
Discussion?
discussion, yeah.
No, okay. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
okay, so I'll
Opposed?
prepare a letter.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. We're good. Oh, you're all set?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, unfinished business, I think we just took care of that. So approval of the minutes for July 1st, 2025,
So moved.
second,
A second.
all those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye, abstentions? Okay. Good to go. Correspondence, Mike.
We have no correspondence.
Okay, public participation? Going once, twice? Okay, staff report?
The only thing that I'll mention is, so we only have one meeting scheduled in August, which is the second meeting. We have, the first one is taken, just always only have one there. We're hoping that EDC, I don't know, Matt may have some conflicts later in the month, but we're hoping that at that meeting, at least one or more members of EDC will be here to present the strategic plan. So one of the things that we've been working on is basically development of an executive summary, because the plan is heavy. And so, anybody sitting down and reading that plan, it's very heavy. There's a lot of data. It sort of marches on, which is good if you're in, you like reading those types of documents, but not necessarily approachable. So we've been working on executive summary and some implementation items and trying to pull the meat out of it so that it's, again, more approachable. So the hope is to have that finished and have at least a couple of the members here for them to go over that and kind of talk about it. And they're looking to, as I've mentioned before, get buy-in from P&Z, Board of Finance, all the boards that are sort of involved in why the strategic plan is important. So they're sort of going to be doing a little bit of a round robin to those boards with the plan to sort of hopefully get some endorsements so that we're all marching in the same direction. So that's the plan for that meeting, which would be August 19th. It's our second meeting. So there's no August 5th meeting, I think it is, and there will be no cancellation notice because it's not on the calendar. So
Okay,
that's all. That's all I have.
that's it?
That's all I
Okay.
have.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thanks, Bill.
we'll see
Thank you,
everybody next
guys.
month.